Is everything alright with your homework and class?
Yes.
How helping your child with homework can teach you about genuine interest in people? Last week, our video talked about Gamba Walk, the walk that brings us more than only health benefits. We presented some advantages of making this walk on the shop floor, where things really happen. Today, I'll talk about interest, but not in the pejorative aspect, but in the constructive and sincere bias. This video will talk about genuine interest in people. This is the kind of interest that leaders must have for the team that they care and they develop. However, not only for the figure of the leader, this interest can or should be considered. In our lives, this interest can be also seen in several other ways. For example, in our family or friend circle. To begin with a simple understanding, let's consider an example on the personal level, with our friends or family life. Usually, parents seek to make their children successful and happy in all areas of life. For that, they are the ones who help, who give autonomy, guidance, example, and constant feedback so that their children can grow up healthy and evolve as human beings. Many of us, whether parents, children, or both, know that this concern and interests are genuine. Changing to the point of view to the professional side, it is worth again to differentiate between the boss and the leader, as we have already presented here at Leandership. The leaders have similar interests to the parents I just mentioned. For them, results, goals, and performance do matter. As for a father, it is very important that the children learn and have good grades at school. But it is important that their team develop, mature, have autonomy, and take responsibility for their decisions. Being able to assume protagonism in the work environment, not only being chore makers, but above all, managing to be happy and productive as well. First of all, for the leader to have genuine interest in people, it is very important that he or she likes people and is willing to help developing people. It's not always easy to exercise this interest. It takes effort. Making an analogy, it's not like being an uncle. When the child cries, you just return it to the parents and everything's fine. Jokes aside, people are not always well and do not always act accordingly or correctly. In these cases, it is very important for the leader to exercise patience, to listen, or to provide more severe feedback when an action is not in line with the expectation. To have genuine interests is to be conscious and to have attitude to act according to the situation. It does not mean to be complacent or conniving with problematic situation. In other words, the actions of this leader will not always be popular or make people happy. They may be necessary as a bitter medicine for curing a disease, for example. But how to develop this genuine interest? Liking people. First of all, this is the first requirement. Liking is not only in good times. People are not always happy, not always smiling. Sometimes they have problems. Align expectations. It is very important to keep in mind the expectations of each person with the other. It is always a two-way street. Trust is fundamental. This aspect is essential to build results and relationship. Be willing to listen. When in a conversation with someone, dedicate the necessary time for that particular subject, especially when it is an uncomfortable one. Avoid interruptions on these occasions. Communicate frequently, transparently, and at the right time. Give feedback. Use this conversation to adjust behavior and technical behaviors. Empower. Use empowerment to give autonomy and responsibility. having routines and habits. Having established routines will help you to notice when something is not going well with someone. Note that these points I just mentioned are valid in professional or personal environments, with family or friends or co-workers. As we practice them frequently, we will develop more and more genuine interest in people, also sensitivity, and with sensitivity we can discover many points of affinity and also points that one person can complement the other. Today, with communications tools we have available, not being close is just an excuse. Think about it. Is there genuine interest in people in your environment? Have you allowed it to happen? Don't forget, this is a two-way street. Don't forget also to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media. Next week, Leandership will be back with more special content made specially for you. See you soon!